This is Blue Gold News Now, your spot for current events, campus news, and everything in between. Now, live from Tower's basement, it's BNN with our hosts Alex Rubio and Marissa Day.
Good evening, I'm Alex Rubio.
And I'm Marissa Day.
Coming up tonight, the current status of the river conditions in the Chippewa Valley.
A sneak peek into the future of the Phillips Planetarium.
And your BNN Blitz update on the world of blue gold athletics.
But first, the UW-Eau Claire Student Senate has announced several changes coming this spring semester. Starting just before winter break, UW-EC Student Body President Brett Farmer and Vice President Samantha Consiglio began the process of reviewing the Student Senate bylaws. 139 pages in total, these bylaws contained years of situational and conflicting additions, which made it difficult for student representatives to use them as intended, as a guide to create the most positive and impactful change on campus. This Friday, March 30th, the new Senate bylaws, cut down to 66 pages in total, will be brought to the Senate floor. The meeting will be held at 10 a.m. in Centennial Hall, room 1924, and will be conducted in an open forum format for any interested UW-EC students to attend and provide input or gain insight into the revision process. Both President Brett Farmer and Vice President Samantha Consiglio have expressed their excitement and hope that the revisions will leave a lasting impact at UW-EC.
With unseasonably cold temperatures and snow and rainstorms seeming like a constant this spring, the Chippewa River has been getting higher and higher each and every week. According to WQOW, the river is currently at 760 feet, which is dangerously near what is called the action stage. The action stage essentially stipulates certain parts of the Eau Claire area, including the trail by the Hobbs Ice Arena and the trail behind the Haas Fine Arts Center, will be closed due to major flooding. The city is keeping an eye on the water level this year, but say they don't expect for the flooding to be as bad as last year, but to maintain safe practices near the river and to be aware of possible flooding.
Coming up after the break, a look into the free speech workshop hosted by the Menard Center.
And an upcoming increase in lifeguard numbers in the Eau Claire area. Stay tuned after this.
Hi, it's Addison from Home Screen, and to show you the power of TV10, I sawed my logo in half. And now with the magic of TV10, it will come back together. Wow, that sure is amazing. Catch Home Screen every other Wednesday afternoon at mytv10.uwec.edu or on our YouTube channel, UWEC TV10. I want you to be part of the magic.
Today, March 27th, the MCCS hosted a free speech workshop held in Centennial.
BNN reporter Samantha Burnett has more on the story.
The Menard Center for Constitutional Studies is a group on campus that works to engage students in educational and research opportunities dealing with the Wisconsin and U.S. Constitution. Working with the MCCS also gives students the opportunity to present any work done at Circa. Every spring, the MCCS holds an evening workshop similar to the free speech one. Then in the fall, they hold a statewide workshop in conjunction with the UW system. This one is always a day-long event with presenters from other UW schools. Earlier today, the MCCS held a free speech workshop for students in Centennial. This workshop was held to give students the opportunity to discuss freedom of speech on campus. They gave students the opportunity to ask questions and discuss examples to understand what is considered constitutional based on the Supreme Court's interpretation of the Constitution. Director of the MCCS, Eric Casper, goes on to discuss the point of the workshop that took place today.
Is meant to give students a little bit more of an in-depth opportunity to talk about and to learn about freedom of expression questions, particularly how they're applied on college campuses, especially public colleges and universities, which are subject to the requirements of the First Amendment.
If you are interested in the MCCS and the opportunities they offer, you can find more information on the UW-EC website. For BNN, I'm Samantha Burnett. Back to you, Alex and Marissa.
Thanks, Sam.
How an exciting opportunity, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, talking about free speech in the Menard Center for Constitutional Studies, that's an incredible opportunity for students to explore that. And I mean, we talk about free speech, right? We're both journalism majors.
And really, how empowering to learn about that and be able to just have that in your wheelhouse to know that information. It's really nice.
Absolutely. And speaking of things going on campus,
here in Eau Claire, March is supposed to be a great month for astronomy with the chance to catch a glimpse of the northern lights in the case of geomagnetic storm in the skies. But our way of checking out the night sky in UW-Eau Claire might be changing in the next couple of years.
BNN reporter Willow Polish has the story.
Thanks, Alex and Marissa. A hidden star of the UW-EC campus is the Planetarium located next to the entrance of L.E. Phillips Hall, just inside the Bird Museum. It's been around since the 60s, but will be replaced by the new Science and Health Sciences building. The current planetarium serves college students and the community of Eau Claire, offering weekly public educational shows and giving plenty of demonstrations to various school groups on field trips. The majority of equipment in the room has been around for decades, but the future Science and Health Sciences building is slated to have a brand new planetarium available for use. The new system will use large screens in a dome to project and show anything you can imagine, from flying through a galaxy to zooming along the surface of Mars. Planetarium director Bill Wolfe has been managing the Phillips Planetarium for a few years now. He says that although the new facility will be the state-of-the-art, it will use very different technologies than the current system.
So in the new science building, we'll have a brand new state-of-the-art planetarium. It'll work with very different technology. We'll have 2 really powerful projectors that'll show anything you want in the dome. You can go flying through the galaxy or zooming along the surface of Mars. But one thing that this older one does a lot better actually is getting a dark night sky. You can't project darkness on a screen, but this planetarium only projects light where it wants to, and so it really does get a dark night sky. So I'd say get a chance to see this one before it goes, but then also come back in a few years, and it'll be a very different, very interactive show.
The planetarium on the first floor of Phillips Science Building has shows Thursdays at 7 p.m. or can be booked for private events. Their schedule can be found on the UW-EC website. Back to you, Alex and Marissa.
Thanks, Willow. On April 8th this year, astronomers are predicting a total solar eclipse. And even though we are outside of the path of totality in Eau Claire, you could drive down to Indiana to try to catch a glimpse of it. How about that, Alex?
It seems pretty exciting, honestly. Another solar eclipse in our lifetime. Like, what are the chances? That's pretty cool.
Right? Isn't that fun? Well, and fun that we have people on campus here that can tell us when those things are happening.
Exactly.
You know, I went with Willow to chat with Bill Wolfe and chat about, you know, the
different technologies that we're like getting inside of
right,
there.
what they're using and what they plan to use. It's so cool. So I'm going to have to head over to a planetarium show. We've talked about that.
I know. I've talked about it many times in my stories, but I've actually never been, and I might have to check it out with all of the new stuff that's getting implemented.
Well, exactly. And speaking of things happening in the community, while out in the community of Eau Claire, you may have noticed stacks of books in some unlikely places. For the past few years, the Friends of the L.E. Phillips Memorial Public Library have been maintaining several community literacy programs, including books on buses, putting little libraries on Eau Claire's transit buses, the Eau Claire Laundromat Library System, and stocking several little free libraries all around town. According to WQOW, the Friends of the Library have been awarded a $19,000 grant that is set to bring even more books to the Eau Claire community through the existing programs previously mentioned. This grant will also allow the library to plan additional outreach programs for the future, allowing for more opportunities to encourage literacy in the Chippewa Valley. For more information on the Phillips Memorial Library and its programs, visit ecpubliclibrary.info.
While the weather right now might be frightful and the temperatures outside the opposite of delightful, many Eau Claire residents have been left looking forward to the upcoming summer seasons. With that said, local pools will be a hot commodity as the temperatures begin to rise, and thankfully many of the pools around the Eau Claire area have found themselves lifeguards once again. WQOW states that after the pandemic, many swimming spots found it hard to find lifeguards due to lack of classes, expired certifications, and difficulty training and maintaining staff. With this problem becoming prevalent, the city implemented incentives and extra courses to make sure that pools were manned by the proper amount of lifeguards. So, when the weather finally does turn for the better, hopefully, you can expect to find many local pools open and fully staffed. After returning from their tour, UW-Eau Claire's concert band and Wind Symphony put on a concert to showcase their hard work for the Eau Claire community.
Every year, the concert band and Wind Symphony ensembles tour the region with the goal of recruiting prospective students. Oftentimes, they perform selections from their upcoming concert at the high schools that they visit. The tour is an opportunity for students to meet prospective Blue Golds, and to try to mentor these high school students, sharing their own personal experiences with UW-Eau Claire Band. BNN reporter Kevin Bureau spoke with Dr. John R. Stewart, who is the director of the concert band and the conductor for the Wind Symphony, about some of the specific benefits for students.
We do a lot of interactive performances instead of it just being a concert where we sit on the stage and the audience is out in the hall. For the schools that we stop at, a lot of them will do what we call side-by-side rehearsals. And most of those, we'll work on the high school's band's music. Our students will sight read it. And we'll do a little bit of, okay, they play, we play together.
The two bands will have one last concert this year in May. For more information, you can email musicandtheater@uwec.edu.
BNN will return with your weather forecast.
And a BNN Blitz updates on Blue Gold Sports after this short break.
Hi, I'm Evan Claymore, and I host Sounds of the Valley at UW-EC's TV10 station. If you're anything like me, you love live music. Well, on my show, I take the live music and I give it to you. I take the finest musical talent from the Chippewa Valley area and I bring it directly to your screen. So if that sounds interesting, check it out at mytv10.uwec.edu or on our YouTube channel at UW-EC TV10.
Thank you, Alex and Marissa. Good evening. My name is Ellie Albrecht. We're back to winter weather. There's no doubt about that. It's unfortunate, but this week will stay decently chilly. Today's temperature in Eau Claire was a high of 38 with a low of 16, and the wind chill today did not make it feel like it's been in the teens all day. Looking at a zoomed out version of today's forecast around the upper Midwest, everywhere around Minnesota and Wisconsin, you'll see a lot of 30s, and Minneapolis with a high of 34, Bloomington with a high of 35 today. Red Wing, Lake City, even Menominee are all at a high of 37, with Chippewa Falls at 35, and Eau Claire the warmest at 38. Looking forward to the next 7 days, we're going to be dealing with a lot of cloudy weather this week again. And as you can see on Monday, we'll be getting more rain. Also, a possibility of more snow. However, the rest of the week and a bit of next week will be a tad warmer with highs in the 40s and 50s and lows going as cold as 16 only happening today. Thank you so much for joining me for weather this evening. I'm Ellie Albrecht. Back to you, Alex and Marissa.
Thanks, Ellie. BNN Blitz is back this week with more Blue Gold sports updates.
Over to you, David and Eli.
Thanks, Alex and Marissa. Welcome to BNN Blitz, everybody. I'm David Abel.
And I'm Eli Bennis. David and I are back with your weekly recap of Blue Gold sports action. UW-Eau Claire baseball competed in the Russmet Invitational in Florida, March 16th through the 22nd, that saw them go 5-5. The Blue Golds bounced back after starting the Invitational 1-5 by winning 4 straight games to end the trip. The Blue Golds swept Sunny Poly and Quecca College that concluded in 3 one-run game finishes to end the Invitational. March 21st, the Blue Golds notched an 11-0 win against Sunny Poly. The Blue Golds received a 7-inning dominant shutout performance from first-year Nicholas Muser. Muser shined with 7 strikeouts and only allowed 1 walk and 1 earned run in his first collegiate win, alongside WIAC Pitcher of the Week for his performance. The Blue Golds start their WIAC schedule against UW-Oshkosh March 29th through the 30th. They will play a doubleheader on both days at Tiedemann Field in Oshkosh.
The Blue Gold softball team picked up quality wins while in Florida last week. The team currently has an 8-6 record after back-to-back wins over Framingham State and Plattsburgh State by scores of 8-7 and 4-3. Eau Claire went 6-4 while in Claremont, Florida, and has been led by Kenneth Strunzi, who has a 994 OPS. The Blue Golds also have 4 qualifying hitters batting over 350 batting average. The team is now back in Eau Claire and expected to have a doubleheader on Friday against Milwaukee School of Engineering, pending the weather.
UW-Eau Claire men and women's tennis teams competed in a spring break trip in Florida, March 17th through the 22nd. The men fell in all 7 matches but battled with Hendrix College that concluded in a 3-6 finish. Women's tennis cruised to 4 straight victories and defeated Oglethorpe University and William Smith College on March 18th, 9-0 and 7-2 in dominating fashion. The Blue Golds will continue rolling with 2 5-4 wins over St. Lawrence University and Luther College. The Blue Golds would eventually see a loss on their spring break trip following the number 7th ranked D2 St. Louis University.
The Blue Golds women's lacrosse team has been on a roll as of late, winning their last 4 games, including an exciting 16-14 win over Trine University in Angola, Indiana. Devin Cruz was crucial for the Blue Golds, scoring 5 goals in the matchup, which gives her 13 goals in the season. Eau Claire trailed 13-10 midway through the third period, when the Blue Golds ripped off 4 straight goals back-to-back coming from Cruz to give them a 14-13 lead. Eau Claire would never trail, and Cruz finished her day strong with her 4th goal with 5 minutes and 59 seconds to go, giving the Blue Golds the win. The team had the recent matchup with Hamline University rescheduled for Monday and have a matchup with the University of Northwestern St. Paul in doubt on Thursday. That's all for the world of Blue Gold Sports. I'm David Abel.
And I'm Eli Bennis. Back to you, Alex and Marissa.
Thanks, David and Eli. Welcome back, everyone, to BNN TalkBack, where this week Marissa and I will be sitting down to talk with some students about an important drive that's happening soon.
That's right. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what your project is? Give us an overview.
Yeah, well, it's an honor to be here on this great show. I'm Addison Dayton.
Tell the viewers who you are.
Addison Dayton, he, him, his.
I'm Claire Anderson, she, her, hers.
Yeah, and our project is for CJ 307, Small Group Communications, which is a class we're both in. We're broken up into different groups. And for our project, we decided to do something about homelessness. We've done a lot of research into different aspects of it, both worldwide and local. And we decided to do a material drive, which includes both food and items and like toiletries and stuff. And so we're really excited to put it on. And you know, it's important to, I think, both of us and also the entire group to help people that are maybe sometimes not given the aid they need.
Mm-hmm. So what have you both been up to? What has the process been like for planning this event, and for, you know, what are the steps to get to the drive?
And how's it been going?
So right now we've been kind of in the planning stage. We have a pretty large group. I think there's 8 of us working on it. So we all kind of take different parts of it, parts of the planning or the advertising. So we're all kind of doing our own separate parts. I've been working with organizing the spot we're going to host it in Davies.
Yeah, and you know, I've been working on a few different things. I did a little bit of the research, but also I've kind of become the media person in terms of trying to find, like, this is part of the project, you know. So I think that we all kind of specialize in different areas, and we're on the final stages of the drive is almost here. You know, we're completing all our stuff, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
So you guys obviously have mentioned that your project is going to be about homelessness, but why did you guys choose this focus? I know for me, I actually took the class that you guys were in, and we focused on ageism because we thought that was like a very prevalent issue. Like, do you guys have any connections with like this topic, and why'd you focus?
Yeah, there's a few ways for me personally, and then the group at large. I think the group at large, we recognize that there's kind of an issue in Eau Claire specifically of homelessness. There's a lot of homeless people that maybe aren't getting the proper resources or the proper compassion and understanding given to them. And I know me personally, I'm very passionate about analyzing and looking and helping people that are harmed by systems of power and structures. It's very much something I like to analyze and something I care about a lot. So that's personally why I sought it out and why I wanted to be part of the group.
Like maybe like some people who have been kind of like ushered away from society because they've just been kind of left behind in ways.
Yeah, that's definitely something that drew me to this topic.
Yeah, I would say some of the same reasons. I think it's a very prevalent issue in Eau Claire. You can see it all the time. I live in the downtown area, so I see a lot of individuals in need, and I would just like to have an impact on that.
That's really incredible. I spoke to the Beacon House, their executive director, last semester, and we talked about the state of homelessness in the Eau Claire area and the Chippewa Valley at large. And it's a really great topic to focus on because it would make such an impact to be able to reach people that maybe aren't getting resources. There's a lot of differences between the different shelters available and the services that they can afford to offer right now based on how things are going. So it's exciting to hear that you are doing your own part and doing that.
Yeah, it's a very important topic, so it's really cool to see students really just trying to like tackle this.
And speaking of, some of the community resources to help those dealing with homelessness, have you been partnered with anyone to work on this project, or is it just isolated to your class?
So we have reached out to a couple of the organizations. The one that we're most heavily partnered with right now is the Community Table.
and that's where all of the donations that we receive at the drive will be going towards.
Yeah, I think it's important to collaborate with organizations that have experience doing with this. As much as we want to help, we are obviously, just students. We don't know too much about how to do this. So and part of the process, we reached out to them, asked what people kind of need as well, and how we should focus and how best to help. Because sometimes I think people will just try and do something without thinking about it a bit more, and they'll end up actually not giving as much aid as they thought they were.
It's really important to ask like what like people like this really need, not just like handing out like the things that are just kind of like
assumed.
people assumed.
Amazing.
So. Yeah, no, this sounds like an amazing opportunity for people, and for any of our viewers who are looking to maybe help out with this. When and where is this drive happening?
Yeah, the drive itself will be being held at the Davey Center, right up to those front tables that everyone walks by, that often have stuff. April 8th and 10th from noon to 2. There'll be multiple members from our group at the time. We'll have a place for you to drop off any supplies you have, and those are the two main times. And then obviously, if you really want to, you can reach out to us and we'll take it. Or even better, just directly donate to the community table or other resources for sure.
Awesome.
Amazing. So just to recap, so that people who are thinking about bringing things to donate, what specific items are you kind of looking for?
Yeah, talking about those assumed things, what are the things that people really need?
So we wanted to say that the community table will basically accept a lot of materials. And for food, a lot of people assume they just want like non-perishables, but they will take perishable items. Just make sure like things are unopened, expiration dates are good, everything like that.
Yeah, and another thing that was mentioned to us as well is a lot of toiletries. I think people sometimes don't think about the necessity of a lot of toiletries like toothpaste, toothbrushes, feminine products especially. I think that stuff is also important, was brought up to us. So any of that as well, we'd love to take from you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Really great. Well, we've got a lot of really great information for all of our viewers, but is there anything else that you would want to share with our viewers about your project? Anything else that they can be doing just from day to day? Any kind of like last words that you guys have?
Yeah, one thing I'd love to say is this is obviously a limited time project. We're collecting stuff on very specific days, but there's never a time where you have to donate in that specific time. You can donate at any time. If you're not able to donate for this one, feel free to, and make the effort to directly donate to places like the community table or Beacon or any place that really gives aid to people. It's a lot of times those kind of places don't operate with a lot of resource in terms of monetary value, or they don't necessarily always have the time to do all that stuff. So volunteering is also important. So I think the thing I really want to emphasize is, as important and like personally important this drive is, it's not the only time that you can give aid, nor should it be the only time you give aid.
Yeah. No, that's a really great point.
That's an amazing point to bring up, because I think with a lot of times when we think about, certain times or opportunities to help others or acknowledge different things, like when we talk about Black History Month, Asian and Pacific Islander History Month, and different things that we bring awareness to, like helping people who are experiencing homelessness in our communities. There are certain times of the year that people do associate with those things, and I don't think, just like you said, your charity and your willingness to help other people and your empathy doesn't have to end or begin at a certain point. It's a really great thing to bring up.
Yeah, this is a really prevalent issue that needs tackling constantly, something that we can all work on to try and promote a better community for everyone.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, well, we're very thankful that you guys are tackling this for your project, and thank you so much for stopping on.
Well, thank you for having us,
Yeah,
for sure.
thank you.
We appreciate you both, and we're so glad that we had a chance to sit down and chat about this. Just as a reminder, those dates are April 8th and 10th.
April 8th and 10th at the Davey Center, noon to 2.
Noon to 2.
All right, well, stop there if you have anything that you want to drop off, and if you want to help out with this amazing project. But I think that's all we have time for.
Yeah, that is all that we have for you tonight.
Join us next week for your latest news, updates, and weather.
Make sure to check out TV10 on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I'm Marissa Day.
And I'm Alex Rubio. Thank you, and good night.